The mayor and town council work session for December 2nd, 2025 in the Worcester County Government Center, room 1102. Before we get started with the agenda, we have a new person on our staff, that Mr. Pollock. Would you like to go ahead and introduce at this time?
Well, I'm almost afraid to. She's had such a buildup. Even after her first meeting with us, that I'm not sure I can do her justice. But I'm very happy to introduce Jennifer Divis, who is our brand new economic development and Main Street manager in Snow Hill. She's filling the role that Larissa McAllister had before. And as many of you know, 50% of this position is devoted to Main Street as part of the Maryland Main Street program. And Jennifer comes to us with a wealth of experience all around the world. She's a resident of Snow Hill, so she's part of the family. And we're just delighted to have her and our talent as a member of our team. And very much we'd love to welcome her here. And if she'd like to say just a couple of words, that would be fine too.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm so thrilled to be in this role. So I want to thank the mayor and the county. This is a joint collaboration with the county and the town, and also I'll be working very closely with the Downtown Snow Hill, the nonprofit organization that is has done a lot of work spearheading the Main Street status for the town of Snow Hill. And I came as a resident of Snow Hill 5 years ago. I live in the Western District. I am thrilled to be in this role, and I'm really eager to work with everybody on the council, the mayor, Rick, everyone in the town that has ideas and businesses and efforts that they want to see happen in town. I'm eager to talk to you. So thank you very much, and I look forward to getting to work with you.
Yes, we look forward to working with you. So thanks and welcome on board. All right, the agenda number one, we have a presentation from Optimize Renewables regarding opportunity for a comprehensive energy audit for the town. And Mr. Pollock, would you like to introduce the folks to us?
Yes, we had the opportunity to meet with this gentleman a couple of weeks ago. He's representing a company that will perform an energy audit on the town's energy usage, and there's a program available through the state to provide some resources to the town to better identify our energy usage and come up with ways where we might be able to save money here and there. I think just the best thing to do is just turn it over to Len and let him introduce himself and tell us what he has to share with us.
Sure, happy to. Thanks for having me, and thanks for the invitation. So my name is Len Jornlund. I'm a 23-year resident of Washington County. Originally recruited to lead the manufacturing at VP Solar in Frederick, Maryland. I live in Washington County. Worked in all forms of energy, and I'm very glad that I'm off planes and working multiple continents. I'm strictly working on Maryland the last 7 years. It's been wonderful in communities like Snow Hill. The opportunity is, having worked the entire time of those 23 years with the Maryland Energy Administration. We're very fortunate as a state to have such sort of upfront support in the form of grants, pre-development capital with the Maryland Energy Administration. And we've worked with 16 different cities, towns, hospitals, a few commercial, industrial, heavy on community colleges and state universities to use MEA planning grants in a program called Resilient Maryland that delivers planning grants. That the first phase of it is a $125,000 grant that utilizes our technical and financial resources, experience, expertise to do an assessment. It's a walkabout of boiler rooms, identifying key electric loads that cannot go down as identified by us as a team. I appreciate the town council and mayor but my VIP, I think, is Randy in terms of knowledge of the veins and arteries of getting something designed and getting something funded eventually and something operating. So Randy, nice to meet you and and everyone here. The planning grant, again, December 31st is the deadline. The way we've done 16 of these across the state from Frostburg, State University, City of Frostburg, City of Cumberland, all the way down to Chrisfield. As far as one really important part, well, first the benefits of the project ultimately leads to reduced cost savings, identifying what we call the right mix of energy. It could be natural gas, it could be solar. We tend to lean into rooftops first and started the largest rooftop company in the country, actually out of Frederick, Maryland, years ago, called Sun Edison. Started the financing that created that. And we, from geothermal to energy storage to solar to biomass, a variety. I'm very fortunate to have some really diverse set of expertise technically as well as financially. So we apply that to eventual planning and grant. We would, if we agreed to do something like this, it ultimately lead to an assessment of your energy infrastructure, a final plan, technical and financial plan, and then decide whether to move forward as a self-funded opportunity or explore opportunities for third-party financing. That's the gist of it. I welcome questions.
Okay, council, any questions?
Randy, was examples or anything handed out of what I shared with you? Because I can
Candace did share some of the
Yeah,
information.
we have
she sent us.
something.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there's questions now or afterward, happy to answer them at any time.
Maybe you could do a quick run through, what is it that you'll be looking for from us? That will help you get the planning grant?
Yes, very, very little actually. So, I would probably be working with Randy to do an initial size up of the basic inputs for the proposal, which are pretty simple. It's a lot of your names and particularly yours, Rick, and others who, make up this city. We do an introduction of the energy infrastructure really through more of a Google Earth and a little bit of exchange of information with, I think you, Randy. And then we would prepare what is a funding and services contract that only if it's awarded, we write it. We've done 16 of them before. We write it. We end up providing the contract, and then once the contract, only if it's awarded would it trigger our work to complete the plan. And then it's typically over an 18-month period, which to us is about a year too long because we don't need that long to do that process. So depending on, we listen to, our clients, our partners. So depending on the pace, the level of interest, the exchanges that we make, that's ultimately what we would be creating. And it's really not much information. Once we get into the process itself of actually, if it's awarded, we would be doing a walkthrough, roofs, boiler rooms, identifying with a core team, a small core team, what are energy loads that simply you do not want to go down. And we've worked with, like City of Frostburg as an example, Cambridge, other comparable towns, small cities that we would have suggestions, but that's where it would need to be interactive. We would look at where there are problem areas for, sometimes there's not backup power. I know a city that in Western Maryland doesn't have backup power for its wastewater treatment. And we were like, that's a problem. And here's a potential solution. Here's the cost of the solution. Here's how long it would take to complete it. Yeah. So.
So in this initial stage, as we pursue the planning grant, there is no cost to the city.
No cost to the city,
To the county.
and it's your prerogative to move forward to the next stage, which I think is useful to know now, which again, thanks to the MEA, Maryland Energy Administration, is a pre-development construction grant that we would apply for. We're also fortunately I've submitted 4 of those for different cities, towns, and higher ed, and received all 4 for the clients we work with.
So in the grant, are we obligated to do anything further than what your estimation is of what we need to do, or what?
No, not obligated. No.
Not obligated,
In writing, we will say there is no cost to the city.
okay,
In writing, we would, in order to create the proposal, we would, make sure we have that basic, it's really simple information on some key names and people. We're able to get a lot of information on the sort of high level, doesn't need to be real precise, energy sort of infrastructure, of the city. And anything that, you know, beyond that, it's really not very burdensome. That's one thing we really try to do is there's just a lot of underserved communities or under-resourced communities that we try to fill that grant writing gap. And if that gap is filled, then it leads to possibly the next grant. And then it leads to the consideration of private project funding and evaluating the risks and the rewards and the operations and maintenance and all those things. But the key is you'd have an energy audit, you'd have a plan, and then it's your choice to move on with us to the next step or not. And it leaves you a lot of optionality.
okay. That's good to hear. Is the grant like that you have a template pretty much, or you
We do.
used to doing
We have
writing
16
grants?
templates
And-
that got through the MEA. Again, worked with, I don't know now, five governor administrations here, either working overseas from and building jobs. I don't know, we created 1,200 jobs in different companies. A company called BG Solar, that was manufacturing in Frederick, Sun Edison, another company called Empower Energies, now Optimized Renewables. And ultimately it allows you to have a toolkit of technology opportunities that integrated together you create savings, creates energy security in a crisis. And then what we enjoy doing, and we seem to be already working with maybe some potential candidates, we like to bring on interns to work on the actual plans itself from a local or regional community college or a state university. So we're already working, we work with UMES already. We've explored working with Chesapeake College. Where else? Work with Bowie State University, work with Frostburg State University, Allegheny College, Maryland. I'm forgetting some.
In Warwick, locally.
Warwick we presented, but it was at a time when she had just come in, needed to get settled, and needed to address a budget shortfall, and then come back possibly in the near future. But really appreciative and been frankly enlightened by how much we can do with a community college or a state university nearby. And those interns we end up supporting them all the way through to possibly getting a job, which has been fun. Yeah.
So the grant is due December 31st?
Due December 31st. Yep.
And how long would it be before you knew you got it? I mean, is there a
Yeah.
big,
Good question.
quick turnaround? or-
Typically, not quick enough. It's typically, no, it's never been earlier than, early April. So once we submitted December 30th, it hasn't been earlier than April, sometimes May. Director Lipinski recently retired from the MEA. We worked with Director Chung and the 2 or 3 directors before, and have opined on different policies and things over the years. So we have a good rapport with them. So we try to hustle it through, but we definitely don't take the 18 months to do the plan because we typically don't need to. And that's too long.
Okay.
Let's get on with it, and we're able to do that.
We're a small town, so it's, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Council, any questions? Mr. Williams, no?
So this timeline that I'm looking at here, is this for what if the grant is awarded and how it would flow
correct.
the
Yeah.
amount?
That's how if it's awarded, it would trigger that contract. And, it would result in the final audit, assessment and the plan. And then we could reconvene and kind of size up the different ways to pursue going forward to secure more public capital and or private capital. And just the general kind of, what's this project going to do for us kind of thing. The other thing I'll share is there are some unfunded mandates that I find a lot of small towns and some cities actually aren't informed about, that sometimes can be a surprise on, for example, as of February, March, I believe it was, buildings of 35,000 square feet require metering that can try to apply for certain grants, but in often cases, it's a surprise to cities or towns that that is a requirement, but an unfunded requirement. I'm not sure if I share with you the sort of a simple 2-page white paper, but I will and follow up just to share kind of what might happen so there's no surprises going forward on potential costs that are, it really mandates to improve on certain environmental and other energy efficiency requirements. And I've seen some clients or some potential clients surprised by that. And it's, need to get ahead of those. So any other questions on that document that I can answer? Okay.
Are you in agreement with doing this? Council?
Yes.
Yes? Margaret, what do you think?
I need to read more. Read it, but I need to read it more.
So we have two in favor. And a maybe.
But it's good for, I do agree with the first phase. Yeah.
With the first phase? Okay. All right, do we need to do anything else with this?
General consensus.
General
That's
consensus?
the only thing that's time sensitive, is getting the application in before the end of the month.
For the, right,
Then if they're able to get the grant, and I would reasonably they will, they'll take the period to do the assessment. None of that costs the town a dime,
right.
except for, Randy's time providing information, same thing, finance and that sort of thing.
On.
But,
That will all be in writing in a very simple contract that you can review closely.
Okay.
It can get to you as this needed to happen first, and we can get that to you.
Before, okay,
We can get that to you by the end of the week.
okay. All right,
So you're not in a rush.
okay.
We pretty much need a week to 10 days. We have a lot of other potential clients. But with a week to 10 days would be fine because of the templates we have.
And Councilperson Fletcher, if you have any more questions, you can just go through Rick and ask him, and you can
Sure.
get contact. All right. Okay, well, thank you
Okay.
for your time. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
All right. I enjoyed Elliot's.
Oh, good, good. I'm glad you got a little walk around town. Yeah,
Thank
good,
you.
good. Thanks a lot.
thank you, Lynn.
You should go jacket.
Don't forget your jacket. We need that. All right, agenda item number 2, proposed annexation plan discussion. So, Mr. Pollock?
Sure, this has been before you any number of times as we've discussed, re-annexing the properties on Coburn Lane, that are currently occupied by the middle school, the special school, and the elementary school. Also, the town's Coburn Lane well, production well is in the area to be annexed. It was annexed originally years ago as part of the Summerfield project. When Summerfield failed to materialize, the property was de-annexed. Apparently the mapping was not changed to reflect the de-annexation, and it continued to show these properties within the town limits. And the understanding of the staff at the time was that these properties were in the town limits, and we've represented them being in the town limits as we've applied for grants and other opportunities. When we did the recently last year, I think the zoning map correction found out that the properties were not in town. we decided, we needed to get it back in town limits, especially for our pump station project, or our well project. That needs to be in the town limits and make it contiguous. Of course, the school properties have to come in at the same time. We have support from the county commissioners as the property owners, along with the Board of Education. They've all signed off on the application or the petition, rather, for annexation.
All right.
So there's a defined process that we need to follow. And Maureen been working on that, the annexation resolution that we presented to you all. There will be a public hearing announced and advertised and promoted for people to come in and express their opinions. There is one little piece of a property that abuts the school property on the middle school side, or the special school side, where the bulk of the property is already in the town line, in town limits, but when the line was drawn, it took a little corner of it and left it out in the unincorporated part of the county. So this petition also brings that little corner in, and we have the agreement of those property owners to come in as well.
Okay.
So everything's in place. We're just following now the step-by-step process to accomplish it and make it happen. And Maureen can certainly tell you what the next steps are and how we go from here to actually getting it into town limits again.
So at the next meeting, you'd have two resolutions. One would be to adopt the annexation plan, which is in your packet. Dan did a lot of work on it. So there would be a resolution to adopt that plan, the exact thing that you guys have in front of you.
Mhm.
And then the second resolution would be your more formal resolution to annex the property, and you just introduce that resolution at your next meeting. Because then we have to advertise a public hearing, that's the advertised 4 times. Dan has to send the annexation plan around to state and county agencies, and they have to have it for at least days before the public hearing. So the two things you'd see next week are resolution to adopt the annexation plan, so you have that, so you can review that in advance. Dan's your expert on the plan, spent a lot of time on it. And the second resolution would be to introduce your annexation resolution.
All right, does council have any questions? Or Dan or Maureen?
No, we need this for our grant so that we can reinforce our pump station. Good idea to provide clean drinking water in town. But then, so.
Councilperson Lee? You okay? Councilperson Fletcher? You good? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, number 3, Willow Street proposal. Mr. Pollock again,
Here we go.
bring, yes,
That's the
bring us
never-ending
up,
story.
yes.
At our early work session in November, this was on the table, for final disposition. We did have, we interviewed, Mr. Andrew Richards, who had interest in purchasing the Willow Street property, which has been declared public surplus property. His intention was to save the building, open an Airbnb type of, enterprise there. Acknowledged when he made his, pitch that he would be looking for variances. He would want to put a front stoops on the, structure, which would encroach the front yard requirement of the zoning. He also would not be provide parking that the zoning ordinance requires. And so we sent him, because we weren't able to get a final resolution, I contacted him on October 31st, recapping the council's position based on the interview we had with him, giving him a number of items that we wanted him to be aware of if he was going to make a formal offer. We didn't hear anything. On November 7th, acting again on the instruction of the council, I sent him a letter basically giving him 2 weeks to Monday, November 24th, to provide a firm and formal offer to purchase the property. That was sent to him by registered mail. Return receipt requested. We did get the return receipt, so we know that he has it. Other than him meeting Randy on the property to look at the location of the pump station, to see how much of the yard would be retained by the town to be able to service our pump station, I've had no contact with him other than a little bit of phone tag. So I've got no formal offer, no formal reply to our letter, no indication of any progress in any form. since we gave him that final 2 weeks notice. That's where we are today.
All right. Council, any discussion on Willow Street? Councilperson Lee,
Listen.
you want to listen to the others, Councilperson Watkins?
Okay. Well, we've given him his final notice. Hasn't come back to us. A public nuisance at this point. People are in there doing Lord knows what, all times of the night. Bulldoze it to the ground. I'm sorry, you've had this property for a long time now. Nobody's lived in it for 30 years. And honestly, if I had to have a vacant lot anywhere in town, that's probably the spot I'd want. So I say we just bulldoze it to the ground.
Okay. Councilperson Fletcher?
I said that at the last one. If he didn't respond, gave him a certain amount of time. If it wasn't respondable, then just.
And we've given two groups.
Yes.
Two groups that opportunity. Any other information?
There just, as you know, there was a third party interested in the property. They also wanted to say that, they weren't prepared to make a formal offer, weren't in a position to make an offer. When they understood that Mr. Richards wanted to buy and save the building, they backed out. Now, whether this would change their circumstance, I don't know. Certainly been there all along.
I've spoken with this party, so they don't have the resources.
Okay. All right, did you want to ask the public at this point? Did you say?
No.
No, the other one.
Just for.
Okay, before. All right. Okay, so it looks like we're going to.
Randy, what he wants.
So,
Randy, do you, any staff member want to give any additional information, Randy? Particularly you dealt with this over many, many years, this building.
Other than we've been through the same scenario over and over and over. And, I just want to know which way, we need to make a decision on it. And I just want to know which way you want me to move forward with it.
Yeah, the quote that you had for what, 9,500 or?
I had two quotes for it, yes. One was nice, so still got the quote.
That was
I'll
lower.
probably have to get it redone again, but I'll guarantee you the price will be
Right,
pretty
and
close to the
then-
same.
Yeah, okay. Go
I
ahead.
will reach out to the gentleman tomorrow. And,
So we'll
I'll
move
get an
forward.
up-to-date quote. And I don't think there's any reason to reach out to the higher one because he was way off.
Yeah.
From what the other one was.
Yeah.
And the other gentleman has done work for the town before,
And,
on other projects,
and you've
yes.
been satisfied with it?
Yes. So he does more than just that. He does also water and sewer, stuff like that. So I will reach out to him, tonight or tomorrow morning. And I'll tell him I need another quote as soon as possible. I'll get it back to Rick and then he can present it to
And
y'all.
then we'll move forward.
And then we'll move forward.
All right,
What if
go ahead.
there are some people that would like some of the reclaimed wood?
Excuse me now?
Some people might want a piece of the reclaimed wood or mementos, make frames out of, whatever. Would that be an
I'm gonna
option?
tell y'all, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
If any of y'all, anybody in town wants a piece of wood, or wants the old claw feet bathtubs,
Yeah,
as far as me, I don't care.
okay.
I'll even help get them out of there.
Thank you, Randy.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
You could have, if Randy's gonna try to get them, or you could have the formal vote to demolish with that quote next week. That way, it's a formal
Formal
decision.
vote,
So
okay,
I'll have it for the town meeting next Tuesday night.
okay,
I'll have it very quick.
okay.
Mr. Lee, you say you were listening to us. Do you have a chime in there? No?
I lean toward where the council is, find it very difficult to vote to do it. Just for, information, I did have an opportunity to talk to Dr.
Like,
Slayton. for what it's worth, she said she had tried to contact them. And same on, you know,
All right, number 4, update on potential sale of old firehouse with realtors. At this time, I know we're going into closed session, and we have, is there any public input at this time? Did anybody signed up to speak about it? No. All right, at this time, there's a need a vote to convene. No. Okay. Vote to convene in closed session before a contract is awarded or bids are open to discuss a matter directly related to a negotiating strategy or the contents of a bid or proposal. If public discussion or disclosure would adversely impact the ability of the public body to participate in the competitive bidding or proposal process and to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. Do I have a motion to go into closed session for this purpose?
I make a motion to go into closed session.
Do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, hearing no opposition, we will be going into closed session at this point. So thank everyone. Come on up. Time is 6:35 p.m. We just came out of a closed session meeting on December 2nd, 2025 that began at 5:31 p.m. and was held at the County Commissioners Building, room 1102, Snow Hill, Maryland 21863. Purpose of the closed session was to discuss before a contract is awarded or bids are open, discuss a matter directly related to a negotiating strategy or the contents of a bid or a proposal. If public discussion or disclosure would adversely impact the ability of the public body to participate in the competitive bidding or proposal process and to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice under general provision Article 3-305B, number 14 and number 7. Members who voted to meet in the closed session included Council Member Lee, Council Member Fletcher, and Council Member Lumpkins. All in attendance for the closed session were Mayor Simpson, Council Member Fletcher, Council Member Lee, Council Member Lumpkins, Town Attorney Maureen Howarth, Town Manager Rick Pollock, Police Chief McGee, Administrative Coordinator Candace Ringaneri, Planning, Zoning, and Building Official Dan Brandewie, and Clint Bickford, John and Andrea Dow, and Deborah Whalen. The topics actually discussed was a contract received for the old firehouse. Closed session ended at 6:32 p.m. Okay, announcements. We had we don't have any comments from the public. Announcements by council members. Member Fletcher, go ahead and start. You have anything?
Tomorrow night, we had the planning legal state secretary will be at Free and Ease at 6 o'clock.
Okay. All right, Councilperson Lumpkins, anything you want to add? Councilperson Lee, anything? I just want to, the Christmas parade. Chief, what can we do for the Christmas parade?
So 6:30, I can either meet you at the, formerly disclosed firehouse, so we can certainly meet there.
At the
old
firehouse, we've done that in the
Yeah, I can
past.
pick you up from there and we'll go up to the starting line at 6:45 and I can drop you right back off in the downtown area, if that suits everybody.
Yeah.
And, Spring of Shine looks like, it looks like we're gonna have a cool night, but it's gonna be, a clear night.
Clear night, good. Good.
And we typically do not throw candy for that because
No, because of the
downtown doesn't like
streets.
the streets all sticky.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
My dog's Jackie.
is
Wrapper on.
Councilperson Fletcher, are you going to be able to, is that good for you? At 6:30, Councilperson Lee, 6:30? Monday for the parade.
It's the parade, right?
Yes, for the parade. Councilperson Lunkins, you okay?
Fine.
All right, we have First Friday, 5 to 8, this Friday, and Santa Saturday. So if you have any kids, visiting or, grandkids or the like, please come to the town annex this year, from 12 to 2 to see Santa and Mrs. Claus and get your picture taken. Let's see, anything else? And mayor and council, we did. All right. So, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Do I have a second? Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is very much, everyone.